Most women who are broke right now are not broke because they spend too much. They're broke because they were never taught that small money, moved the right way, at the right time, becomes real wealth. Not someday. Not after a raise. Not once everything finally calms down. Right now, with whatever is sitting in your account, you have more power than you think. And today I'm going to show you exactly what to do with it. Here's the thing nobody tells women about money, and I mean nobody. We are raised to be responsible with it. Pay bills on time. Don't overspend. Save for emergencies. Be sensible. And most women do exactly that. They're incredibly disciplined. They stretch every dollar. They carry the financial weight of entire households, sometimes quietly, sometimes alone. But responsible and wealthy are not the same thing. Responsible is surviving. Wealthy is having options. And there's one habit, just one, that separates the women who eventually have options from the ones who stay trapped in the cycle of working, paying bills, and starting over. That habit is investing. Consistently. Even when the amount feels embarrassingly small. So if investing is the answer, why aren't more women doing it? It's not laziness. And it's not ignorance. I want to be really clear about that. It comes down to two things, and both of them were handed to us before we even had a chance to question them. The first one is the not enough yet belief. The idea that investing is something you do once you have real money. Once you're earning more. Once the debt is gone. Once things stabilize. That belief feels logical. It sounds responsible, even. But what it actually does is keep women on a financial treadmill. Always almost ready. Never quite there. The second thing is perfectionism paralysis. Women are socialized to be thorough. To not act until they fully understand something. And the financial industry, let's be honest, has done everything possible to make itself feel complicated and exclusive. All the jargon. The acronyms. The overwhelming number of options. The financial advisors who historically didn't take women seriously unless they were walking in with a large inheritance. So women wait to feel ready. And that feeling almost never comes on its own. Here's what that waiting actually costs in real terms. Every year you delay, you lose something you can never get back, and that's time in the market. The engine behind real wealth isn't a hot stock tip. It isn't a lucky investment. It's compound growth, and compound growth needs time above everything else. The woman who starts small at 32 will almost always end up wealthier than the woman who starts with more at 42. Not because she was smarter. Not because she earned more. Because she started sooner. And here's the part that directly affects us as women, that most financial content just skips over. We live longer. On average, women outlive men by several years, which means we need more money in retirement, not less. We're more likely to take career breaks for children, for aging parents, for family, which means gaps in contributions and gaps in earnings. We face a real wage gap that affects how much we can save. And we're far more likely to end up managing our finances alone at some point, whether that's through choice, divorce, or loss. The system was not designed with our lives in mind. Which means we have to be more deliberate, not less. Let me paint two pictures for you, and I want you to be honest about which one feels familiar. Picture one is the woman who keeps intending to start. She thinks about it. She has the apps downloaded. She's researched index funds at some point. But every month, something else comes first, an unexpected bill, a trip, a gift, a slow month at work. And the investing gets pushed. 5 years pass. She has good intentions. She still has no investment account. Picture two is the woman who starts this month. Not with everything figured out. Not with a large sum. With $50. Maybe $75. She sets up an automatic transfer the same day her paycheck lands, so it moves before she has a chance to redirect it. She doesn't watch the market obsessively. She doesn't try to time anything. She just lets it compound. And a few years in, something shifts. Not just in her account balance, in her identity. She stops thinking of herself as someone who is going to invest someday and starts thinking of herself as someone who invests. That shift is worth more than any single investment decision she will ever make. Because once you see yourself as an investor, you start making every financial decision differently. You ask different questions. You notice different things. You stop tolerating accounts and habits that are working against you. The other reality worth facing is what financial fragility actually looks like for women over time. The statistics on women and retirement poverty are genuinely sobering, not to frighten you, but because they reflect real patterns that are absolutely changeable if you start now. Women who spent years relying on a partner's financial plan and then found themselves single through divorce or loss are among the most financially vulnerable people in the country. Not because they were careless, because they trusted a plan they weren't part of. Building your own financial foundation, alongside anything else you're building, is not paranoia. It's wisdom. So, what actually looks different in the mindset of women who build wealth versus women who stay stuck? It's not that they earn more, though some do. It's not that they got lucky, though some did. The real difference is in how they relate to money at a foundational level. Most women treat investing as something that happens with what's left. After rent. After groceries. After everything and everyone else. And most months, nothing is left. Women who build wealth flip that completely. They pay their investment account first, the same way they pay rent. It's not optional. It's not negotiable. It's just what happens on the first of the month. They also stop asking, "Can I afford this?" and start asking, "What is this decision costing my future self?" That is not the same question. And it doesn't lead to the same answers. They also, and this one is important, stop waiting for confidence to arrive before they act. Here's the honest truth about financial confidence. It doesn't come from reading more articles. It doesn't come from following more accounts or watching more videos. It comes from doing. From the experience of making a decision, following through, and watching it work, even imperfectly. The women who are the most financially grounded are not the ones who understood everything before they started. They're the ones who started badly, learned as they went, and kept going anyway. They didn't wait to be ready. They got ready by doing. And here's what's available to you right now, with genuinely no expertise required. A Roth IRA, a brokerage account, a target date index fund, an automatic monthly transfer. You do not need to understand every option. You do not need to monitor the market. You need to open the account, choose one simple low-cost fund, and set it to automatic. That's it. That's the entire strategy. And it works, not because it's clever, because it's consistent. I want to push back on something before we close. There is a version of this conversation that sounds like, invest in yourself, you're worth it, wrapped in rose gold branding and empty empowerment. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm actually saying is financial independence is not a luxury. It's not a reward for people who have it together. It's not something you earn once your life settles down. It's a foundation. And without it, everything else you're trying to build sits on unstable ground. We are taught, especially as women, that putting ourselves first financially is somehow greedy, or selfish, or irresponsible in the face of so many other needs. But I want you to consider this. You cannot take care of the people you love from a position of desperation. You cannot show up as your full self, professionally, personally, in every relationship that matters to you, if you are financially fragile. Securing your own financial future is an act of care. For yourself. And for everyone around you. It doesn't require perfection. It doesn't require a lot. It requires a decision, and then following through on it, even when the amount feels small. Especially then. Here's the one thing I want you to walk away with today. The amount you start with matters far less than the decision to start. $50 a month, invested consistently, will do more for your future than a perfectly planned strategy that never begins. You don't need to wait until you feel ready. You don't need to understand everything first. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start somewhere today. If something in this video clicked for you, I'd love to have you here for the next one.